Hi, and welcome to Tyler State Park.
And two tired teachers coming at you from Tyler State Park. And this is, as you're coming up on it, there are signs on both sides, and you turn in to the state park here at Tyler. And this is just part of the drive around the park. It's beautiful.
It is a gorgeous park.
And yes, there's going to be a sign here that says do not enter, and you're going to notice that I turn and enter there. And the reason for that is because the pull-through sites that are on the right side, you have to access for everything to hook up correctly. And so the ranger told us.
Yes, and it was a ranger who told us pull in where it says do not enter.
And so you can see we got a great site there. And once again, it was a pull-through, but it was large enough that we didn't have any problems with that. This campground has some that were pulled through, some that were back in, and this particular loop is water and electric.
There are 8 or 10 separate little campgrounds
throughout
in this park.
Yes.
It's a huge park.
It is a huge park, and as you can see, during the week it's not crowded, but during the summer on the weekends they will close it whenever it gets to capacity, because Tyler is actually a decent sized town, and this is one of the places to come and cool off, and it's a beautiful park, and so they do close it when it reaches capacity. This loop is on the lake, and it's full hookup, and this is their premium area because you are right here on the lake. And then this is another loop that is full hookups that's really close. Part of it is on the lake and part of it's not.
The full hookup sites were more crowded.
Much more crowded. Whenever we came here and stayed before, which was our third trip, we stayed in one of these sites simply because we wanted to be able to have some time to make sure we knew how to do everything and didn't want people waiting for us at a dump station, etc. But you can see the lake is right there. There's part of a path that you can take that goes down in there. But this is another option for loops if you are interested in full hookups. They have several loops that have full hookups. And the inn that's down there closer to the lake is a little fuller. Yes. They also have some tent sites, and
they're more secluded.
Yes, and you can see these really are for tents. You pull up off the road. They're not going to be extremely level or anything like that, but they do have a tent pad. And then they have screen shelters and cabins, and these are, I think, considered the cabins because you can see it has an AC there and they have windows.
And before Sharon can remember, our family actually stayed in one of the screen shelters.
And but the screen shelters are not going to have AC. They're not going to have windows. So, depending on the time of the year, that may work out well for you. But they also have various group use buildings that you can reserve, and then
tons of trails.
Yes, this is a small portion of the trail that goes all the way around the lake. And the lake is contained fully within the park.
So if you're in a kayak and you want to fish, you're free to.
Right, and but beautiful trail. And then they had another trail on the other side of the road that goes around the park that was hike and bike. But this is the swim area, day use area. This is a spring-fed lake, and it was cool.
Yes, the water is cooler.
But it had just rained, or it might still be raining whenever I took these pictures, and so people weren't out there swimming. But it was quite full while we were there a lot of the time.
Not crowded.
No, it's a huge area.
Yes.
And then they have places where you can rent paddle boards, boats, etc. And then the town of Tyler.
It's known for roses.
Yes, this is the rose capital of Texas is Tyler. And they had this park that's gorgeous that you can come. It's free, walk around and see some of the different variety of roses that they had. And while we were there, once again, it was kind of raining a bit, but there were people who came to have picnics at this park just because it's such a beautiful Peaceful place.
And they had roses in August when we were there.
Yes, and they also have East Texas State Fair.
Camp Ford was a prisoner of war camp for the Yankees during the Civil War. The Confederates ran it. This little area has tons of information.
And this is a historic site. This was what, the only prisoner of war camp, Civil War prisoner of war camp this side of the Mississippi or something. It was just fascinating, and once again, it's free. It's just open, and you can walk back up in there and kind of get a feel for, this is Texas, and it was muggy, and there were mosquitoes, and so you get an idea of maybe what the conditions were like.
Yes.
I was disappointed that it had rained so much. This part of the trail was fine, but...
Sharon, what do you think about Tyler State Park?
I think that anytime East Texas needs rain, they need to give us a call. Because end of August, who would have ever guessed?
Raining at least some every day.
And stopped in and talked to the lady working at the park store, and asked first of all if the water was spring fed, and she said yes. And I said I thought it had to be because once again swimming
so clear.
So clear. She said it's actually a series of springs that feed the park here. But she said they never get rain in August.
Yeah.
And
can't prove it by us.
But this is our second trip here, but we've had a great time.
We did get to swim yesterday.
We did get to swim yesterday, and it's cleared off for just a few minutes, it's looking like, this afternoon. But we did do a couple of really fun things.
Yes.
I tell you, that Civil War POW fort was just fascinating to me.
Yes, and it's not a big exhibit. It's not indoors.
It's free.
It's free, but a lot of information.
And a part of me wished that it hadn't been raining as much, because I would love to have been able to actually just walk the entire thing. But the other part of me was like, it's the humidity and heat would have been so bad that August is not the best time.
As it was, though, it was so muddy.
Yeah, it was a little bit too muddy to get too far back up in there, but I was able to walk some, and it's one of those places that it's just fascinating to think of. First of all, Civil War POWs, not something, I know that I'm not a history person, but just hadn't really clicked with me. But then to think that, what did you say, how many?
At one time they had 5,000 little tiny Tyler, Texas.
And it's the only Civil War POW camp west of the Mississippi.
Yes.
And so it is something worth going by. And then if you're from Texas, you always think of roses when you think of Tyler.
Of course,
and
the Rose Festival.
And so that was interesting. And there are some other things that are not too far from here.
There's a tiger refuge. It's big cats, I think, all big cats. It's about 5 miles from the park. It is about $17. So.
Yeah. Now, something else that's free, if you're going to be in this area on the first Monday, the weekend surrounding the first Monday of the month, about 30 miles is Canton.
Yes.
And that's a big
trade day.
Trade day kind of a thing, yeah. And I've been once in my lifetime, and it's fun. It is, a lot of walking and a lot of people carrying like little wagons so they can, all of the treasures that they find, they can take those with them. But it is a gorgeous park, and hold on just a second. Watch, I'll be back in a flash. You'll never even know I was gone. Okay. Tyler is a large park. And
very large.
I'm going to try this old school, and then if I need to do some editing here, I can. But there are 10
areas.
4, 5, 6, 7 camping areas, aside from a couple of cabin areas.
And screen shelters.
And they surround this little spring-fed lake. And there also are a number of, and this is one of the things that we had mentioned before but hadn't really gotten around to. This is a park that has a separate trail map. And on the front, it shows you all of the trails, and they're basically color-coded, and it has kind of a sketch of where the campgrounds are. And then on the back, it has this really nice grid for each of those, and it tells you, for example, Loop A is 2.53 miles. It should take about an hour and a half. It's moderate difficulty. And then the trail includes elevation change. You may encounter obstacles such as loose gravel. But there are others that are, the easy loop is 0.754 miles. It should take about 45 minutes. It's easy. So you can choose which trail you want. And the other thing that is really super cool here is they have hiking trails, but they also have biking trails. And then there's some hiking and biking trails, and they say, you know, they want the bikes to go one direction and the pedestrians to go the other.
Yes.
But we saw some people with mountain bikes just yesterday, I think it was. They happened to be at the edge of the part of the path that was near the road where we could see them. But tons, I believe I counted last night, over 10 miles of trails, probably about 12 miles of trails. And one of the trails does go completely around the lake. And this morning we did get up a little bit early and headed over to one of the fishing piers, just because since we made that video about fishing in the state parks, we've really started fishing in the state parks. It's been a lot of fun.
If you come here to fish.
But hang on, before we say that, raccoons. This park has two species that seem to be exploding. And one is raccoons. We haven't actually, this morning was the first time I saw, it was a family heading back home, a family of 5 raccoons, and you could see the different sizes and the, you know, different sizes as they, over on across the shore. I saw them kind of meandering back over there. And the other,
turtles. If you're going to fish here, be ready. Those turtles will watch for your bobber. They will go under, swim to it, steal your bait, and be gone.
yeah, we somebody had told us that the catfish here, which she did catch a catfish here. That's 3 catfish on this trip. That's just crazy. But anyway, she caught that one just on a gummy worm. But someone had said they were eating Slim Jims, and so we actually had already picked some up, thinking that would be a good bait that wouldn't go bad, and we could just have it on hand if we ever forgot. And so I put some Slim Jim on a hook, and I saw my bobber just going crazy and brought it up, and you could see literally a turtle snap out of the bait. It was, but yeah, they wait. Once they see people on that fishing pier, they just wait, and they're waiting for you to
put your line out.
And I wish I'd had a camera with me yesterday, because one of the places we were, there was a log, and I counted 7 turtles just on that one log.
Yes, and they will circle your bait. I mean,
but anyway, that's been fun. But they don't get in the swimming area.
No.
And they have kayak, paddleboard, canoe, paddle boat rentals.
Yes.
And something I just found out when I went in the park store is, if you are interested, this is a lake that is completely contained within the state park, so you can be in a boat, and they have boat rentals for $35 a day, which is not bad. It's a paddle boat, but still, the others I think were, and this varies by parks, I think was $15 a day, but this is a park where if you want to fish, that they do have loaner gear and stuff, and that's going to be whichever park you're at, whatever they have, but
it's what's available. And so if some people have come in and don't have gear, they may have taken it, and you're out of luck.
And whenever we tell you we like a park and it's in great shape, folks, some of these parks were built in the 1930s and 40s, so no, it's not brand new. But if it's clean and it's well cared for, I don't care that it's out of date. That, to me, is not a huge deal.
The bathrooms, other than one at the swim area, and it's at the swim area, but the bathrooms have been immaculate here.
The swim area is used a lot.
Yes,
I mean,
and the floors are wet. Of course, people have gotten
it's a
out
swim
from
area.
Swimming.
Yeah, the park store, the sign says please dry off completely before you come in, because it's a swim area. But the ducks, that was super cool this morning.
Yes.
Seeing the ducks fly across the water. We're really not, when we're camping, we're really not that much of morning people. Maybe we should be. It's gorgeous. But that was super cool. This is a gorgeous park. There are some of these loops that are for tents only. There are some loops that are for RVs only. There are some that are water only, some that are full hookup, some water and electric. So there's really a lot to choose from.
Yes.
And like I said, gorgeous area of the state. And we've had a ball here.
It's been incredible.
The only sad thing is I'm going to have to go back to that place they pay me to go before long. So
That is sad. Only for a year and a half.
well, the end is in sight. The end is in sight. So anyway, it's been great, and hope you've enjoyed our look at Tyler State Park.
Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.